The vastness of the universe is something that humans can never imagine. Hundreds of years ago, after humans discovered the Milky Way, they realized that they were not the master of the universe. Even beyond the Milky Way, there are even larger galaxies, with hundreds of millions of them. The existence of humans is becoming more and more unimaginable. At the same time, the admiration for the universe and life is even more profound. And there is a place that has more stars than the Milky Way, called the Galaxy. In 1964, an astronomer from Boston called the Galaxy in his book A Small Cloud. That was the earliest observation record of the Galaxy. Until 1612, Simon Marius gave a detailed description. In 1785, another astronomer, Herschel, found that the middle of the galaxy was a very light red. But because the observational equipment of the time was not advanced, the estimated distance was wrong. In 1885, humans discovered superstars in the Galaxy, which is the first observable star in the Galaxy, and the only superstar so far. There are nearly 100,000 stars in the Galaxy. After observation, it was found that its diameter was as long as 220,000 light-years, which is about 1.6 times larger than the Milky Way. And the place where we are is 250 million light-years away. It is one of the first stars discovered in our early astronomy. At first, everyone was used to calling it M31, but only through the naked eye can it be seen. At present, we know that it is one of the largest galaxies. It is larger than the full moon. There are countless light spots in the galaxy, and no more complicated tools are needed. Now, people just need a binocular lens to be able to see its existence from the universe. But from the outside, the galaxy is a full circle. It's like a clock hand, and there's a white oval in the middle. At least once a year in the autumn solstice in the North Pole, at the end of August and the beginning of September, in a midnight in the North Pole, it is often misunderstood as a cloud in the sky. Sometimes the galaxy is confused with the goddess. In fact, the goddess is a constellation, and the galaxy is one of the galaxies. It's just that it's bigger, and it's bigger. The goddess is located in the south of the god Huzuo and the god Wangzuo. If it's in a dark night without light pollution, it's usually possible to find the existence of the goddess and the goddess star by flying a horse and making a quadrilateral. At that time, in the east, you can see a slowly rising square. There are two stars and a quadrilateral that form a shape like a spoon. That's the appearance of the goddess. The reason why it's named the goddess is because it symbolizes the goddess who has been waiting for the sea monster Kituo to devour in ancient Greek mythology. At first, when people found the goddess star, all they saw was a very dark spot. There are countless spots. No one knows whether to use a star cloud to determine it or to use a constellation to define it. In the early days, astronomers were not sure if there was a star cloud. Some people are sure that it is a star cloud, but there are also many people who hesitate that it may be a star. In the 20th century, astronomers confirmed that it was indeed an independent star after a long time of exploration. According to data from 2006, the star quality of the Goddess constellation was greater than that of the Galaxy. But in 2009, a study found that the quality of the two stars was not much different. However, it can be determined that the number of stars in the Goddess constellation is much higher than that of the Galaxy. This star cluster is made up of about 40 to 50 stars. Among the cosmic stars of this number, the Galaxy and Goddess constellations are relatively large stars. Although the Goddess constellation is the largest star, there is a probability that it is not the largest. It has a relatively obvious feature that it has a very large star disk and a circular structure. The formation of the circular structure and the huge star cluster together under the influence of gravity. These clusters include a lot of dust and gas. There are also many satellite stars. According to the current observation, it is made up of 14 dwarf stars. The largest of them are NGC 205, M32, M110. They have an obvious feature, that is, they revolve around the main star and form a spectacular star cluster with the main star. The Goddess constellation may have been in contact with M32. The M32 at that time was larger than the Goddess constellation. Later, its star disk was moved out. In addition, The M110 galaxy and the M31 galaxy have interactive relations. Astronomers have produced light transport in the M31 galaxy and have seen a lot of metal stars. They are likely to be isolated from the star cluster. If you look closely at the M110 galaxy, you can see a lane. This lane doesn't look like dust, but it's actually forming a star. The M110 galaxy and the Goddess constellation revolve together. It looks like a bright yellow star. It's not far from the Goddess constellation. Although it is a satellite star in the Goddess constellation, it has a very distinct independence. In addition, humans have found a black heart. This proves that the Goddess constellation has a black hole lurking in it, and this black hole is very large. It's about 1.4 billion times the size. That is to say, if the Sun becomes this black hole, then all solar celestial bodies on Jupiter's orbit will rise under this black hole from a distant place. When many humans face this giant black hole, it looks even smaller. Not to mention, it's even smaller for the Sun. According to the photos, this super large black hole is surrounded by blue stars. The recent blue star next to it has a history of about 200 million years. They are all formed near the black hole. It must have experienced a sudden star formation. Generally, larger stars don't have a long life. So astronomers have been trying to understand how stars that are not very old can survive in extreme environments. According to research, the Goddess constellation is slowly approaching the galaxy, but the universe is still expanding. This phenomenon is very strange. In fact, the Goddess constellation is not directly related to the universe's expansion, because the universe's expansion is actually a very weak force. It can't affect the attraction between the two galaxies. It is said that the approximate speed is about 75 to 100 miles per second. There will be a collision in the future, 37.5 billion years from now. According to the Doppler effect, it is impossible to measure the horizontal speed of the Goddess constellation. So this time data is just a rough estimate and cannot accurately give the specific collision time. In fact, the collision and fusion are not rare in the universe. Because the universe is not in a state of stillness, it is in a state of motion. Even the Earth and the Sun move slowly in the unknown and not stay still. As the basic structure of the galaxy, they also have a certain interaction between each other. Their existence will inevitably affect each other. In this interaction,